In a small village called Akli Kope, nestled between the green embrace of mountains and rivers, life moved to the rhythm of nature. The sound of drums echoed during celebrations, the laughter of children rippled through the air, and the whispers of elders wove the fabric of wisdom. Among this vibrant community were four boys, Ayi, Kuma, Mensa, and Aban. They were the heartbeat of mischief and adventure, their bond as unshakable as the mountains that framed their home. But within this lively village, one story stood out, a tale that the elders passed down like a sacred warning. It was the legend of the Baobab tree, a colossal figure standing deep in the forest, said to hold the restless spirits of the past within its roots. To most, it was just a story, but to Ayi, it was an invitation. Ayi was the leader, bold and curious, his eyes always scanning for the next great adventure. It was he who dared them to climb the tallest trees and cross the widest rivers. Kuma, his closest friend, was his counterbalance, a thinker, cautious and measured, always looking for signs of danger. Mensa, the storyteller, had a way with words that could breathe life into even the simplest tales. And Aban, the youngest, had the heart of a lion, eager to prove himself worthy of his older friends. Together they were unstoppable. But even the strongest bonds can be tested by forces beyond understanding. When Ayi proposed they find the Baobab tree, the other boys hesitated. The elders say it's cursed, Kuma warned. But Ayi laughed, his voice cutting through their unease. It's just a tree, he said. And so, against their better judgment, they followed him. The journey began with the usual ease of youthful adventure, laughter, teasing, and the crunch of dry leaves beneath their feet. The forest welcomed them with sunlight filtering through its branches, casting playful shadows on the ground. But as they ventured deeper, the forest began to change. The air grew still, the light dimmer, and the trees seemed to close in, their gnarled branches reaching like claws toward the sky. They reached a clearing, and there it was, the Baobab tree. It was unlike anything they had imagined, its massive trunk twisted and ancient, its roots sprawling like the veins of the earth itself. A faint glow emanated from its hollow center, pulsing softly as if the tree were alive. Ayi stepped forward, his confidence unwavering. It's just a tree, he repeated, his voice echoing unnaturally in the silence. The others watched as he placed his hand on the trunk. The moment his palm met the bark, the air seemed to ignite with energy. A brilliant light erupted from the tree and the ground trembled beneath their feet. The boys screamed, their voices drowned out by a low, guttural hum that seemed to come from the tree itself. When the light faded, Ayi was gone. No footprints, no sound. Just the faint glow of the Baobab tree, now pulsing brighter, as if it had consumed him. The boys called his name, their voices cracking with fear, but only the whispers of the wind replied. Kuma was the first to move, grabbing Mensa and Aban by the arms. "Run!" he shouted, his voice thick with terror. They stumbled through the forest, the once familiar paths now twisted and unrecognizable. The trees seemed alive, their branches reaching out to block their escape. Shadowy figures danced at the edges of their vision, and the whispers grew louder, as if the forest itself were laughing at their fear. Finally, they saw it, the riverbank, glowing faintly in the moonlight. They burst through the trees, collapsing onto the soft earth, gasping for breath. Behind them, the forest stood still, silent, as if the nightmare had never happened. The years passed, but the memory of that night never faded. The boys, now men, carried the weight of Ayi's loss with them, their bond forever scarred by the Baobab's curse. They returned to Akli Kope, and though they tried to speak of what had happened, few believed them. Only the elders, with their knowing eyes, nodded in quiet understanding. When their own children grew older, they gathered them around the fire and retold the story. Kuma, Mensa, and Aban spoke of Ai's courage, their terror, and the lesson they had learned. Respect the unknown, they warned. Some doors are meant to stay closed. And yet the baobab tree remains. Deep in the forest, its roots grow thicker, its glow brighter, waiting patiently for the next curious soul. Some say if you listen closely, you can still hear Ai's laughter in the wind, mingling with the whispers of the ancient spirits. What lies within its roots? Perhaps you will be the one to find out. Tap on the like button, share, and subscribe for more.